It's a beautiful day, isn't it?
It really is.
There was a new moon last night, and we had the equinox last week. So we have new days. We have a whole new life every day, right? Right? So there is an ultimate reality, and the ultimate reality is beyond time and space, never began, never ends, it just is. It's said to have attributes, if you can say such things. It's existence, consciousness, and joy. This is its nature. And within this ultimate reality, there's an expressive aspect, a part that comes into manifestation. And this expressive aspect, we have a word for that, we call that God. God is the expressive aspect of ultimate reality. And this expressive aspect is not designed by some creator that is super intelligent genius that has a great facility for making things and turning them loose in the universe. This expressive reality is organic. It unfolds, it blossoms out of itself. Comes out of itself. Just like from a seed, we have a plant, a rose bush grows out of the seed. It comes out. It has roots, stems, leaves, little thorns, beautiful rose blossoms, all coming out of one thing, unfolding. And within that unfoldment, there is order. It is chanted about order. It's inherent within the process. And there's intelligence. It knows exactly how to become what it is. And so in this way, this expressive aspect of ultimate reality is expressing as universes, galaxies, stars, planets, solar systems, people. We are expressions. We are blossoming out of this expressive aspect of ultimate reality. Inseparable. It's just like we look at the rose bush and we look at the rose and we say how beautiful is the rose, but the thorn is the rose bush too, and so is the leaf, and so are the roots. It's all one bush, one thing. So, because we are aspects, we are part of this expressive reality, we have all knowledge of it and how it works within us, because we're it. We also have all the power of creation and the ability to interact and to manifest. This is still us, it's coming out of us. We're not separate from it, we are it. We are literally this expressive reality in manifestation. This is what we are. We are God in expression. There's no separation. And if this is the case, then why is it that we have problems and we suffer and we have challenges? What's happening? What's going on here? Well, the big problem, the main obstacle is said to be ignorance. That is, we don't know what we really are. And as units, as rays of pure consciousness, we have become identified with this expressive reality. We have become identified with this role and this character. We adopt the character. We create the character. We decide where we're going to live and who we're going to spend time with and what we're going to do with our energy and our resources. We decide everything about our life. But we are so identified with the character, with the role that we're playing, that we have forgotten that we're doing this. It's like an actor that puts on the costume and goes out on stage and then forgets that he's an actor and becomes the character forever. You see? So the problem is that, when we came into this realm, we were not issued the instruction manual. We didn't get the book. So we have this infinitely powerful organism that we're operating with, and we don't know how it works. If they had the manual inside the cover on the first page, in bold type, in red, it would say warning, caution. Involvement with this character can be addictive. It's like a drug. We become addicted to the sensations, the feelings, the experiences, the habits, all this stuff. And we become so identified with it that we're enchanted. We're under a spell, a magical spell, where we think all this is all it is real. Has some independent reality. Of course it's real, but it's real in a relative sense. And it's real in a sense that we contribute to. We have complicity in creating this character, and through our mind and this amazing tool that we have to imagine possible futures, and then put our energy into those imaginations and watch them come into expression, come into manifestation, we're all participating in creating this world and this reality. This is us. And it's not outside of us, it's us. Our world, our body and our experiences, the circumstances and events of our life, they're all coming out of us. We're not victims, we're not separate, we're not here trying to figure out how to plug in and become part of the system. This is the enchantment, you see. We feel separate, we feel disconnected, and so we know if we can just do the right thing, if we can be in the right place, if we can have the right job, if we get the right car, the right house, sign up for the right, online course, go to the right church, get the right club, if we can do something, get the right stuff, we'll be whole and complete. We'll be fulfilled. So our desires are constantly being driven by this sense of incompletion, the sense of being outside. We want to be on the team. We want to be picked. Choose me. Call on me. You see, the sensation, the feeling that we're separate, that we're outside, is driving these desires, driving this deep discontent. It doesn't matter what we have, how much. We get something extra, we get a boon, the blessings are always coming, grace is always available. It doesn't matter what we get or how wonderful our experience is, it's never enough. Why is that? Because at the core, this essence of being has become enchanted and we feel like we're not connected. And so our attention, our awareness, our normal consciousness is fragmented, blurred. It's missing the point. It free associates. We have 100 billion neurons inside this head, and each one of those 100 billion, that's a big number, 100 billion neurons has the potential of connections with 10,000 other neurons. 100 billion times 10,000. The number of connections is astronomical. More than stars in the universe. And each one of those 10,000 connections is a connection with other neurons to create networks. And these neural networks are responsible for thoughts, perceptions, taking care of all the order that's inside the system. This is well ordered. The heart knows how to beat itself. The system knows how to metabolize food. Your breakfast is being turned into you as we sit here and have this conversation. All this amazing stuff you're doing under the hood. The intelligence of you is well ordered and always on. I heard somewhere that we only use 10% of our brain. Foolishness. The brain is working 100% all the time, 24/7. That's what it does. That's what it's designed for. And part of that 100% of those 100 billion with those 10,000 connections and those millions of networks, each network is a thought, a concept, an idea, or a function. And these things are always going on, millions of them all the time. And some of them become dominant, have enough energy to sort of percolate up to the surface, and we start to notice them. And this one we notice and we put a little attention on it, and then pretty soon it dominates our awareness and we're thinking. Or we have that song stuck in our head from 1973. Bye-bye, Miss American Pie. See, now you have it too. And this is the way it works. We share with each other. We regulate each other's body balance. I said that, and that was like a magic spell, reaching into your mind and changing the way you're thinking instantly. So what we do, we are a social species, and we are interacting continuously. Everything we do makes a difference. Everything we do is casting these little magical spells on everybody around us. But we're fragmented and blurred. We're not seeing things clearly. We free associate this idea, that idea. They compete with each other. It gets to be really crazy. So this is normal consciousness, normal awareness, the way most people are operating. Ordinary. But we have the ability to rise above that. Superconscious. Superconscious awareness. Super means above. Super is above. Superconscious is above ordinary, normal, waking states of consciousness. What is above? That is to be very mindful, to be very conscious, to be aware that, number one, our true nature is already an aspect of the pure essence of ultimate reality. Inseparable. Never was anything else. It was before we took on this incarnation, this body. It will continue to be when this body is no longer useful. This is a sort of the temporary little dance that we're having here. It's wonderful, amazing. We should enjoy it and stop complaining. So how do we accomplish this superconscious awareness? How do we come to the place where we are not ordinary, but we are superconscious? It's very simple. It takes some energy, it takes some time, but it's very simple. Number one, we practice self-discipline. That is, we make decisions about what's useful for us, and then we follow through. We make decisions to avoid what's not useful for us, and we follow through. So we just make a choice, and then once we make the choice, we follow through. That's discipline. So that's not hard. You know, sometimes if we're so identified with the system that we have these habits and addictions and things that we really know are not good for us, the extra chocolate cake, you know, too much Amazon, you know, all these things that can be repetitive, habitual, and not particularly useful, we can simply decide, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to replace that with something that is more useful, more fulfilling, something I can do to make a useful contribution in the world, or at least make a useful contribution to my own life. So we can make those choices. So self-discipline, number one. Number two is self-study. That is the self with a capital S. That is the real self. So we study, what am I? Not who am I, who we are as the character. That's the role we're playing. You know, we made that up. Come on. Who, but what? What is my nature? What am I? When I turn out the lights, when I sit in meditation, when I no longer have any of the circumstances and events and responsibilities and memories and expectations, when I let all that stuff just go, what's left? Consciousness. Pure conscious awareness, existence, being, bliss. The bliss of self-awareness. This is what I am. So we study, we study what have wiser, the saints and the wise individuals of all traditions, what have they said about this? So we look into that, and then we meditate. We sit quietly and we look and find out. This is study. The deep, profound study of our nature and the nature of our relationship with this ultimate reality. What am I, and what am I in relation to the wholeness of this whole thing? So this is self-study, number two. Number three is to develop the viewpoint that we are no longer, that we are not separate, that we are not outside. In other words, to acknowledge the presence of God in and as ourself, and as everyone else, and as everything else. To see the bush, the rose bush, instead of looking at the blossoms and the thorns. We're so busy, we're so identified with the blossom, with our blossoming. You know, here we are, beautiful roses, beautiful blossoms coming out of the universe. The universe is, the apple tree, apples, and the universe peoples. The universe is peopling. So we are so identified with the blossoming, with what we are, just like if we're a rose, we're looking around and comparing ourselves to all the other roses. You know, constantly, instead of just being a rose as part of the bush with the leaves and the thorns and everything else. Instead, we're identified with the blossom, and then we look around and we say, oh, this blossom, look at how beautiful and velvety the leaves are on that one. Wow, that'd be nice. And this one over here is, so beautifully formed, and I wish I was formed like that. And we compare. Every blossom is perfect and beautiful in its wholeness. But we compare and judge ourselves relative to what everything else, and of course we judge everything else relative to itself too. And therein lies the rub, right? That creates the problem, the obstacle. So instead we can train ourselves, we can begin to look and see every single individual is another beautiful expression of God. Another beautiful expression of this ultimate reality, playing a role, dancing through life, circumstances and events, crazy stuff happens. We have the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. All this stuff happens, and it's all fun. It's part of the drama, part of the role, part of the adventure. And as such, we are, we've signed up for this adventure of a lifetime, so we can enjoy it without becoming so identified with it that we think that it's the only thing. It's a play, you see. In the East, in Sanskrit, the word for this is lila. Lila is God's play. They say Vishnu is the preserver. There is Brahma, which is the wholeness of everything. Vishnu is the preserver of the universe. Jesus is an aspect or an incarnation of Vishnu, like that, sort of in that metaphor. And then Shiva, which is the transformative energy that changes things. So Vishnu is said to be floating on a raft on the Milky Sea, sleeping. And as he sleeps, his consort Lakshmi. So all of us are aspects, are participants in this grand, beautiful dream of God as the world. Inseparable. And we can learn to look and see this and experience this and feel this. The most important thing is not the intellect. These are good ideas and everybody should say, yeah, that's good. What's important is not the thinking, it's the feeling. We want to feel connected. We want to feel that we're part of the wholeness of life. We want to see and learn to appreciate that where we are right now, we've been led, we've been invited to come where we are right now. We've been guided. The blessings, the grace of God is always with us and always showing us the way. And it shows us the way in very practical terms. When things are not working, when we're stressed out, when we have challenges and problems and all this stuff, these are just kind of our guidance device to help put us back on track. It's like we have a tracking system which is led by grace, so whenever we're in harmony, in tune, doing what we're supposed to figure out and don't understand, they come together for our good. And when we're off track, when we feel disconnected and separate, the universe wobbles. And we don't quite work. We have challenges and problems. So we look for, our radar looks for the places where it's easy and feels right. Our heart, our inner essence, always leads us in the direction of our own fulfillment and our own good. We have to learn to trust that. Learn to trust our inner knowledge, our intuition. This is a gift from God, you see, from this expressive reality. So I will leave you with the encouragement to be bright and awake, happy, joyful, to live, sort of easily, not take everything so seriously. It's just a game, it's just a dream, it's a divine drama. So be a little lighter with yourself and with life. Look for this resonance, this harmony that is constantly supporting, nurturing, and taking care of us. Because everything is emerging, unfolding out of this wholeness, it has order and intelligence within it, and its objective for us is for us to be prosperous, fulfilled, happy, joyful. This is why the universe is doing this. It's blossoming into expression because it's enjoyable. It feels good. The universe is compulsively creative. It's never stopped, and it's never gonna stop. Things will never stop evolving, unfolding, expressing, and we're part of that. So, go forth and be joyful. Thank you.